everybody. I hope you're well. It's a Monday and we're live in the Platinum group. And tonight we're going to be doing the next stage, and actually I think probably the final stage of Electra. I tried to spin it out for 4 weeks, so it ain't gonna happen. It's not that I wanted to spin it out, it's that I wanted everybody to keep up. And I think you've done a cracking job. I think what I've seen, absolutely amazing, really excellent. I wondered how you'd be with it, to be perfectly honest, because Electra is, you know, quite a textile artistry type thing, isn't it? It's quite different to what we've done before, but it, as you've obviously, a lot of you have discovered, it's very achievable. Yeah, and it means that if you see things step by step, you're more likely to take part and have a little go. And even if you just do one, I think you could sort of, well, I'm not sure, but you could probably hang it up as a Christmas decoration. You could cover the back. You know, the back has glue on. If you followed all the different steps, then the back has glue on, and you could stick regular fabric on it if you want. But we can talk about that as we go along. But yeah, so it's part 3 of Electra, and the final one, really, the final countdown. No, don't start singing, Lizzie. Right, so I hope you're all well. I hope that I'm in sync with my mouth. I'll just get it on my phone so I can see comments. Oh, I didn't spell that right. I've just realised my title is wrong as far as I could see. That's all right, I can change it afterwards. Diana, yes, part 3. Oh, so let's have a look, see who's watching. We've got lots of lovely people already. We've got Janet and Nicola. Hi Nicola, hope you had a good day at work. Sue and Jill and Denise and Wanda and Bridget and Rachel. Gemma Joy, Jackie, and oh Jackie, are you still at your place of holiday residence? Diana and Hayley, Christine. Lots of people watching but haven't said hello yet. That's okay, we don't have to say hello. Oh, good evening Lizzie and all platties. I bet that's Dawn. That's the sort of thing Dawn would say. I'll just wait for it to come up. I was poured all day, is it Judith? It's been a funny old day here. So it's kind of, oh no, it's Shirley. Take it all back. It's Shirley. Good evening Lizzie and all platties. Yes, funny old day here in Suffolk. Bit of sun, bit of rain, bit of drizzle, bit of just murkiness. Just, what is it now? Bit murky. But it's warm, isn't it? Which is something. Thank goodness for that. Julie says hello from Sunny Pool. Better than yesterday. Oh, you're back home, Jackie. Oh yes. Oh, there was something happening tomorrow, wasn't there? Oh yes, I remember now. Doesn't take a lot for me to forget. There's Pippa as well, and Jackie Durrant, and Vanessa, Patricia and Karen. Welcome all. Lisa, welcome to you as well. And to Sue. We're all and Avril too. So the numbers are gradually creeping up. Oh, here we are, Sally. Good evening all. Or good evening all. A wonderful day in air with besties. Oh, you see, you can't get better than that. Karen says, hello Lizzie and everyone. Susan, good evening Lizzie and friends. Oh, Mary, hi Lizzie and everyone from Spain. Just sunshine here. Still as hot, Mary? Or has it calmed down a bit? Gosh, I know when Adrienne was sailing the Mediterranean the last couple of weeks, they stopped off at various places. One of the places was Barcelona, and she sent a picture of herself and William, and she said it was far too hot. I mean, Abigail can take the heat, but I can't, and neither can Adrienne. So it's like anything over 25, and we've had it. And she said it was absolutely stifling. So it kind of, it's nice, but it kind of spoils it. Us Brits are never happy with the weather, that's for sure. It's in our blood. West Suffolk, you'd better move east. A bit of rain first things and sunny the rest of the day. Oh, thank you for telling me that, Jackie. You are that little bit further east than me, aren't you? So lovely, great. It's sort of lovely to see you all. It's lovely to see you all saying hello to each other as well. We're all great friends here, aren't we, really? We're very lucky because we all know each other. And if a newbie should happen along, we just kind of, I don't know, we kind of open our wings and cuddle them in, don't we? And by very, very quickly they become one of the gang, saying hello to everybody. And you get to find out so much about each other. It's just so wonderful. I love it. I really love it, and I nurture it. That's what I do. I nurture it. Okay, so I think we're probably ready to sort of crack on. People coming in through the back door. I just had 5 minutes sitting with John on the sofa. He's warming up for the game at, I don't know, 8 o'clock or something. But they were doing a warm up from about 6:30. Not the team, the presenters. Oh, it's ridiculous. Anyway, and I said to him it was about 5:02. And I said, well, them that got there early, they'll have opened the door, got the front row seat, got their tea and biscuits and waiting for me. And then everybody will file in and get their place up the rows. I said, and then there'll be somebody come in through the back door and slide in on the back row. So I'm watching for anybody coming in late. And I said, that's how I see it in my head. That's how I see it in my head. It's probably a good job sometimes. I'm not in front of you all. Right, Leslie says, evening Lizzie, met my new daughter-in-law today, feeling very happy. Oh, Leslie, isn't it just so lovely? Isn't it so lovely? And it's lovely that the youngsters are all full of life and go. Not that we're not, but you know. Mary says, I'm so far behind with this project, but I'll get there, I promise. There's no hurry, Mary. The videos will always be there. The patterns will always be there. It's not one of those things that you know you have to do. No, nothing is. Nothing is. But the great thing is it's all there if you need it. And it's one of those things that if it floats your boat, then you'll perhaps want to start it straight away. If it's something you think, well, it's very interesting, I'm not sure, then you might sort of park it up on the back boiler, so to speak, and then when you're ready, you can tackle it. But it's one of those things, isn't it? It's sometimes it leaps out at you, like with the weaving that we've been doing with Aubreyshire. Some have really embraced it quite quickly, and I think that's often the case, isn't it? We don't always like everything, and we're not always quick off the mark, I suppose. Oh, Jackie says, and then you watch the match and the TV people then go through every kick all over again. Oh, I know, Jackie, I know. I live it. Oh dear. Right, so thank you very much, Carol. Thank you. Right, so we better crack on now. Hello, Kath. Kath's been working very hard today. Very, very hard. Very hard. Right, we better get started. I'm just going to move my phone so I can still see your comments if I need to. I can see them on my screen, but because it's a group, it doesn't allow me to see the names. Well, it's not that it doesn't allow me, it's the software, it's being protective of you, which is marvellous. Right, so Electra, hopefully you'll have got to the point, if I can just get my overhead sorted, where, let me just move my machine, because we don't need that for a moment. Hopefully you've got to the stage, well, maybe not, doesn't matter, but you may have got to the stage where you've got 3 bits. Now I would imagine that all of you will think, well, I know what happens now, we just join the bits together and away we go. Well, kind of, we're nearly there. The one thing we've got to do, or one thing I want to show you, is how to make a tassel. And you can make a custom made tassel quite easily if you want to. Okay, so I've made this kind of match. We've got the mauve in there and we've got the blue, not quite the right blue, but I think I can be forgiven. And the tassels really do need to go into your project before we do anything else. So I figured that it would be the best thing to do would be to make a tassel. So I'll do another one, so I've got 2, but you might only want 1, you might want 3. So you're going to have to decide whether what floats your boat. Okay, you might not want a tassel at all, but you might find when you put the 3 together that you have a top that feels like it needs something. So even if you put a bead in here, again, we've got to be thinking about how you're going to attach that bead. And once this is together, you can still get your hand in there. You can still get a long needle in there, so all is not lost. But you can think about what you kind of want to achieve. For instance, a bell would look really nice. I wonder if I've got a bell handy. Just bear with, because a bell would be good. I have got some bells somewhere. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to put my hand on it, or I never can. No, I'm not going to be able to. But you could, sorry guys, went quickly through my bottom box, couldn't see a bell. Oh, I know where they are. I've just remembered. Bear with Paula. I'm going to be lucky if I put my hands on. Ah, here we are. So, there we go. It depends. I'm thinking seasonal with this. You don't have to. This could be winter, couldn't it? If you like. So you could, if you wanted, have a trio of bells hanging from the top here, but you'd have to embroidery thread through and what have you, and it would be fairly easy to do. You'd need a little bit of a loop on there, and perhaps we can put the 3 bells on and and a tassel. I don't know, but I mean, there's a bead there. You could put a bead on there. The only problem with that, of course, is you've got the holes either side. So, and once again, you've got the problem of you're going to see the threads that are holding it down. So there's quite a few choices. I think on the one I made, let's have a look. I put a little gold bell on the top there, just a little tiny one, and then I just wrapped my tassels around it really. And they should have really gone inside before I stitched, but it's one of those things where you find out afterwards that would have been a good idea. So a little bell looks quite nice, so you can sort of finish it off like that. But I'm going to show you how to make a tassel first. It doesn't have to be quite as thick as this. You could use your metallic threads instead of just ordinary embroidery floss. But this is all now down to choices and how you feel about it. So we'll make one. And you can just see how it's made. And what I'll do is I'll use these 2 colours. Let's put the blue to one side. I'm going to use the mauve and the green. It's kind of, I don't think I've got much better than that, but that'll do, as they say. So the main tassel is going to be the mauve, and what you need is a length. I mean, in all honesty, you probably need all of this. So let's just wrap it. So I'm going to wrap it like this. I might get into a muddle, because ideally you're going to have a skein that's not in a mess like this. But we could cut it, which I probably will, because this is going to get knotted up. I've got a big box of embroidery threads that are just a mess. There's no way I'm going to ever sit and actually tidy them, but you know, you learn to live with these things, don't you? Abigail's got a big skip coming tomorrow for all her stuff that she wants to, you know, household stuff, not craft stuff. And oh, I'm almost very envious because I would love to have a skip. Has anybody ever had a skip where they've just gone crazy and, you know, filled it with stuff? Because we have too much clutter. Well, I think we do, and then I never get rid of it anyway. But I have to say, I'll be honest now, I did borrow John's gardening Neela pad out of the greenhouse, and I left it in the kitchen for a good reason. It needs a wash, and just before, you know, like an hour ago, he said, "Now, can I put my Neela back in the greenhouse?" I said, "You certainly cannot." He said, "Well, what do you want it for?" I said, "Well, I need to get in my bottom cupboards, and I need your garden Neela to get into the cupboards and actually be comfortable." I never thought I'd see the day. So that's we're coming on. I think we're nearly there, to be honest. So forgive me for my faffing, but you know, this is what we do, don't we? We're good at that, faffing. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave it at that. So let me just snip that. Okay, so we're about there. Look, because I can trim it. Do you see? So I want one end to be ends like that. Okay, so I don't know how many I've got there. What would you say, about 20? Perhaps not as many as that, but you've got a little heap. That's the main thing. And then with your other colour, or you can have the same colour, you don't have to have a separate colour, we're going to take a length, maybe 20 inches, and we're going to fold it in half, or just double it up like that. Okay, so you've doubled it up. I've got two ends here, and all we're going to do, we want to find the middle like that, and then we want to sort of go about there. So I suppose we're going to wrap about maybe 2 inches, perhaps not as much. So, oh, Christine says, "I know the feeling, Lizzie, our poor knees." It's true, isn't it? I wonder why that is, because, you know, perhaps 20 years ago I'd have been fine kneeling on the floor sorting my cupboards out. But my knees are so painful, and I don't think it's, I am not arthritic or anything like that. I'm lucky, but, oh, I don't know. Right, so you're going to feed the ends through, there we go, I've got it now. We're going to feed the ends through that loop, there we go. So look, you've got a, can you see? You've just fed the ends through that loop, which kind of secures that end nicely. Now don't worry about whether you've still got it in the middle. I don't want anybody to start measuring stuff. And then all you're going to do is wrap this around. So you're just going to literally, now it does depend on how tight you wrap this as to the thickness you end up with. And to be honest, you could, I'm sure that you could put it on something and do this far easier, perhaps a needle and thread, I'm not sure. But this is how I always do it. So just wrap around, wrap around, wrap around. As I say, you're doing about 2 inches, and it does do it quite quickly. And so you can see I'm holding it with my thumb, and it does depend on how tight you wrap it as to the thickness, as I said. So I'm just pulling that. Yes, Judith, I quite agree. It's the getting up. Well, as long as I've got something to grab, I'm okay. Oh dear. Aren't we dreadful? Well, at least we try. Hey, at least we try. I don't want that business of I can't do it. No, you just got to get on with it. Give it a go. If you can't get up, you have to roll to one side. You know, you have to do like a fancy roll. Oh, here comes Millie. Right, you're going to sit nicely, Millie, and not steal anything. She's, well, you know she's a terror at this time of night. Right, so we're just wrapping, so bear with. It's not long, we're nearly done. And so you really want to sort of grab it with your thumb and hold it, otherwise it springs back. So let's have a look, see how we're getting on. Okay, I'm going to hold it with my thumb there. So that's not too bad. Could be better, could be neater, but we've wrapped it. So just bring it round so you've got a loop. Okay, got a loop, that's okay. Probably about the same size as the other one. So then all you want to do is just pinch those together, and then you're taking your thread and you're then wrapping this, the two together, okay? So just My nails are getting in the way. So just wrap this around like that. Not too much. You don't want it to be too thick. There we go. And I tell you what would be really nice, because I've used silver metallic thread on my Electra, it would have been nice to have a few lengths of the silver thread in with this as well. That would look really nice. So then we've got the two ends there. So what we want to do is, I'm going to get a pin, just move my mouse, or a little pin. Oh, I've got a little pin handy, this will do. I just want to hold that for a minute, and that will do. And what we need to do is get a needle with a nice big eye. Let me pop that in there. Handy as a pin cushion. Cut the ends so they're both equal. Let's get that out of the way as well. Okay, and then you've got to try and get this all through the eye of the needle. So you want a decent sized needle. Try your best. I think I'm missing just one there. Might go through. See if I can get it. Oh, I got it, well done. So there we are, just thread your needle up, and then you just want to take it up to the top. So go through all your layers of embroidery floss. I'll take my pin out now. Try and get it in the middle. I'm not sure mine is in the middle, but, and then that'll secure it there. Just there, it'll secure it, and then you're left with an end. That's as simple as that. But it would look lovely with a silver thread or something through, or gold, whatever. And then we just need to trim our floss bits. So there's all sorts of things you can do, you know, with the different, you could have different colours on this. I mean, I've stuck with two colours, but you could have another colour, and like I say, you could have a metallic thread as well. So there's two. So they look quite nice, don't they, with that? But you can pick up some of the colours. So a light mauve would have been nice, that darker mauve, that lovely turquoise. But I'm happy with what I've done. So these need to be put on, as I said, before we stitch them together. Well, they kind of get incorporated with. So the next thing is, I'll take one. Ideally, I would prefer 3 tassels, to be honest. So I'm just going to take one, and I'm just going to pop it like that. Where's my ironing mat? Just bear with. I'm going to take one, I'm just going to pop it so it's near the seams. Oh, that's not going to play, is it? I mean, it's not imperative. See how you get on with it. Little bit of dangle. There we go. I'm going to switch my iron on to just under the medium setting. Okay. Right, so don't forget, hopefully the back of your Electras will have glue on. Now I've got 2 with Bondaweb, which are these 2 over here, and I've got 1 with Heat and Bond because I picked up the wrong one. So this is super duper sticky. So we'll do this one, and then we'll do a Heat and Bond, Bondaweb, and see how we get on. I've got some gorgeous organza. Now I did ask you to have organza because the light shines through it nicely, and you see it through the windows. If you choose a regular fabric, which of course you can, the light's not going to twinkle through these holes, okay? You'll lose that twinkle effect. But with the organza, you definitely will get the light coming through. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to position that over. So there are places on here where there's no glue. There won't be any glue on here, for instance, on these bits here. And of course with this, where there's stitching, there won't be any glue. But there is glue on everything else, which means that for the most part this organza is going to stick. Okay, so let's just test a bit. Make sure it's not too hot. Take it down a little bit. And you can protect your work if you want to. Because this is organza, you might find some of that glue comes through. Just see how you get on. But just go canny, as they say, as my mother-in-law would have said. Just go canny, just go carefully. Just take your time. You don't want to burn the organza because it'll be a shame because the glue will be ruined. But of course you could just stitch this into the side seams. You know, when you come to stitch the side seams, you can attach your organza then. You can make it the exact size. So hopefully, if the wind is in the right direction, that is now stuck. Now this is before you put it together, and if this is stuck okay, fantastic, this is a good time to take it to the iron. I'm looking for my big scissors and of course I can't find them. What have I done with them? Oh, it doesn't matter. I've got another pair I can use. Here we go. Let's get these ones. Oh, there they are. I put them in my Electra tray. Okay, yes, so this is a good time when they're in their single state to take them to, oh I need just to press that top bit again, take them to the ironing board or to wherever you do perhaps you're steaming, and steam the legs, the stitching. So let us just do that again. Perhaps this isn't hot enough. Just want to make sure it does stick, but we know that it won't stick on the outside edges. We know that because of the stitching. So we've lost the glue there, but there should be plenty of glue to actually stick everything else. Shame about that's moved. I don't know if you can see that's moved. Doesn't matter because I'm going to stitch it in the seams. So now, if you're very careful, you can cut it out. So just mind your tassel or whatever you use. Actually, might be better if we do it from the front so we can see what we're doing. So just tip it all up, and then once it's attached and you're happy, then we just go on and do the others in the same way. Just don't cut your tassel. So, I suppose it would be fine to do it afterwards. Just stitch it into the side seams, but I just wanted to see if that glue would grab the embroidery threads. And yeah, it has a little bit, so I suppose it's done what I wanted it to do. Okay. So you've got to understand now that we're not attached here, oh sorry, we're not attached here or here, but you could use just tiny little drops of glue to attach if you want to. I didn't with my first one, I just left it as it is. But you could, if you know, if you want it super duper neat, you could just let's get my other little scissors in there, you could just sort of glue that bit along there. Okay, so now what you've got is your tassel attached. We can always pop a clip on that, would be a good idea. Let's do that just to make sure, because it wants to come out of the point. There we go. And that should now be attached quite nicely. And like I say, you could take it over to your steam iron and give it a nice steam, but I think that's pretty much glued on, and then that gives you that window effect. So you can just see my hands coming through, and when the lights are on it, when you look at yours with the lights on, it'll really look lovely, really lovely. So let's do the next one. So this one I won't put the tassel on. So I'm just literally laying it over the top, and then I'm just going to allow that glue to adhere to the organza. So anything really that's of a lightweight fabric, as long as I would try it with this somehow and see if the lights do sort of shine through. I was just thinking in my head, maybe a Tana lawn, a really fine cotton might work really well. So that's nice and stuck. So let's just, there we are, there's Millie barking. Honestly, you could set the clock by her. So I hope this is all kind of making sense. So I'll just go from the front. And I wouldn't worry about being too neat, because we're going to join all these together and all of these edges will get lost in all the stitching, and it's not too bad stitching this last little bit. Yeah, it doesn't work out too badly at all. So let's get rid of those, and then just follow your line up as best you can. Don't forget, like I said, it's not stuck, so look, you might want to trim it. I'll get my little scissors on that. There we go. Get my little scissors. Oh, thanks, Kath. Kath says the tassel looks so pretty. Well, it could be, you know, super duper, because you could put, like I say, some metallics with it. All sorts. You could keep it really classy and just have, you know, one colour and maybe a silver or something like that. Depends what sort of embroidery threads you've got. Or perhaps a perlé cotton, something like that. Make it quite different. So there's the next one. So you can see my fingers through, and it's well glued on the back there. Perhaps you'd want to sort that bit out, but I'm okay with that. I'm more than happy with how that looks. So personal preference. Right, so the next one is the one with the tassel. This doesn't feel like it's got glue on it, but I know it has. Again, we want a little tail, so let's make it a bit longer than the other one. Because what I want to do is to glue the embroidery threads to the glue there. Let's just make sure that isn't going through the top. I was going to move it because it looks pretty wasteful, but I'm just going to go for it. But then these little pieces of organza come in so handy making flowers and things. So again, just get your iron on there. You've got to melt that glue, and if you can, just put them to one side for half an hour to cool down, because while it's still hot, obviously the glue is still wet, if you like, and it could easily come undone again. Could easily come undone. So it's sometimes, well, it's usually better to leave it, to be fair. It's usually better. So let's get rid of that bit. Now I'm going to flip it over. I think my tassel is, yes, my tassel is better secured on this one. There's a little thread there, look. Ooh, let's get rid of that. There we are. You can't see it, but I can. Right. Here we go. Just don't cut your embroidery threads. So, is anybody going to have a go at making the tassels? Do you think you'll have a go? It's a nice thing to do. There's lots of things you can, you know, you could add beads as you're wrapping. You could have beads on your embroidery threads. So many different things you could do. Let's take that out the way. I think Millie gets, what happens with Millie is that she sleeps all day, and I'm sure your dogs are the same. She sleeps all day, she's such a good doggy, and then at night she's like, well no, I've had my sleep, so now it's playtime. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Look, so that's really attached nicely there, and I'll just give that one more little press just to make sure, but I'm happy. Violet says yes, they look fantastic. Susan says yes, they look fantastic. Juliet says yes, I'm going to. Would sparkly vinyl work on the back? Sparkly vinyl. Well, you wouldn't see the lights going through, Wendy. Sparkly vinyl. Yeah, you would deaden that. The idea is this is a window, isn't it? Let me see if I've got my lights handy. So the idea is, as I said, is like a window, so you can see the light through. Obviously, it's not going to be quite like that. That's the idea, that you can see through it. So if you put vinyl, oh, I'm thinking what you're saying now. Clear vinyl but sparkly. Yes, that'd be fine. It'd be quite thick because you've got to stitch through it. See how you go. You could always unpick it a little bit. I'm trying to think at the top of my head. I've never done anything like that, so I can't see any reason why not. Yeah, I didn't think. I was thinking of like bag making vinyl, which I suppose that is. Right. Okay. So are we ready for the next bit? So whether you've got two tassels or 3 tassels, the next bit is identical. So you're going to take 2 of your triangles, your Electras, your sides, and you're going to bring them together, and you're going to literally zigzag all the way down here to attach the first pair. When you've done that, you're going to take the second pair. I'm going to keep that on there because it's not very stable. I'll take it off in a minute. And then you're going to zigzag all the way down here to attach this one. Okay, and then I'll show you how we connect that one to that one. It's not tricky, it's really not tricky, but that is the final stage of putting it together. So let's see how we get on. Let's put you on the other camera. Just bear with. I must move Stuart's fabric. It's been sat there now for what, over a week, and I keep pushing it off the edge of my table. Right, let's get you on the side cam. That's this one here. You're quite a way away. Let's just move you in a bit. Let's move you in a bit, just a smidge. Ooh, that's out. That's in. That's it. Okay. So I've got my zigzag. Hold on, bear with. That's it. I've got my zigzag on the width on 3.5, which is perfect. Perhaps you could even go a bit bigger if you want. And my stitch length, I'm going to take it to 1 and see how I get on. What is that there? Where's my hand cream? I'm thinking, what on earth is that? It's my hand cream. So we take the first 2. And this is where, if you've been clever, you're going to catch your embroidery ends of your tassel, okay? But if you don't, we can use glue. So you're going to put the points together. So you don't need to go right up to the top. You're going to use the same thread as you went down the sides with. So we've got stitch width of 3.5, stitch length of 1. Let's see how we get on. Oh, I think that's okay. I'm going to go back and then I'm coming forward. So you're literally butting the 2 pieces up together. I'll try and keep my hands out of the way so you can see. Down. Just keep those edges together. It does look like the Eiffel Tower though, doesn't it? So you might want to bend it a bit. You might not. Might be fine. Okay. So when you come down to the bottom where the legs are, come right down to the bottom and then go back. So nice little bit of back stitching going on there to secure, because that'll take a bit of strain there. So let's just snip those away, and then you might want to snip your threads up here. Just be careful of everything. It's just hold on. There we go. So that's what we've done. We've just literally gone down there with a zigzag. Okay, and it will bend. Look at that. It just will bend. So let's do the next one. So I've got to take my clip off now, but I'm hoping I catch the ends of my embroidery threads. So you just got to watch it really. So put your points together, don't worry about the other end. So hold on, that's it. So they look like little men sticking out of there, or little girls. So I've got my points together. Okay, I'm not worrying about anything else, but what I want to do, or what I really want to do, is to start and then, oops, that's just slightly moved, and then back stitch and then go for it. And then bring your edges together again, nice and tight. And just nice zigzag all the way down. There we go. Just make sure your ends meet, and you see two legs. But make sure you're force those two edges together. You don't want any gaps. And you don't want to overlap either, because they won't bend if you overlap. Okay, so you're coming down to the end of your legs. So you definitely want to back stitch really well and take it off your machine. There we go. So up the top there, let's take our threads off. Now this next one, you've got to make sure your tassels are inside, like that. Okay, so as long as you've got your tassels, the embroidery threads are long enough, they will hang down. Okay, so with this one, with the third side, so there we are, there's our three sides. Okay, so we're there. But we just need to join this bit together, and all we're going to do is literally flatten it out and zigzag with the wrong sides together. So I've got two pieces there, right side facing out. Okay, see? So I'm going to start at the top and I'm just going to zigzag my way all the way down. So it's wrong sides together with those two end pieces. Okay, really easy. And just make sure that your edge is sitting together again. Don't worry about any bits that you can see. For instance, I can see some of my organza. So let's just do a back stitch. If you still see it when you stitched, you can trim it back and just bring those edges together. Your machine should be able to take this quite easily. And the bozal really does make a difference to it, B&R form. Okay, and even though we are stitching these wrong sides together flat, it will still bend, it will still manipulate, the threads will move. Just make sure your legs meet. I'm not sure mine do. That's called artistic license, isn't it? We'll see how we get on. So all the way down. And I wouldn't do a satin stitch, you know, if you've done the satin stitch, I wouldn't do that, because that is an awful lot of stitches to have to bend. Okay, I would stick with more of an more open stitch. My stitch length is 1. So it hasn't quite met down here, but I'll live with it. So back stitch and secure your threads nicely, break them off. And so if there are any little ends that you can see, just snip. For instance, look, we've got the embroidery thread sticking out of it. But you could go over it again, but you don't want too much stitching, and like I say, you wouldn't get that bend that you need. Hold on, let's get rid of that. Okay, so that, and this will open up. So although you've did a flat stitch, it'll open up quite nicely. There we go. So that is our Electra finished. Oops. But like I say, if you've once you get that organza on, I would give it a press. Okay, I would take it to your ironing station and give it a press, and then everything will be straight and beautiful. And there's our tassels on the top. Just about see. So the other thing we could do is put those bells on. I'm not so sure about the size of these bells, but but let's do it anyway so you can see. Where's my needle gone? Here we go. So I think I would be choosy with what embroidery threads I use for this. So let's think how we're going to do this. I think I'm just going to have an end. Hold on. So I've just got an end. So if I thread the other ones on, not sure. Oops. Okay. So we've got the 3. Yeah. So let's pop a knot in that. Well, there's all sorts you can do. I'm just giving you an idea of you know, something different, and maybe in a room where the lights are dimmed and your flickering lights are really looking lovely, then you might see the sparkle in the bells, mightn't you? So let's just trim that bit. So what we can do, see how we get on with this. Thread the needle again. I think this is possibly where you'd use glue, and then we're going to go underneath and up the middle. But ideally you want a long needle, so you want a sash cone needle or an upholstery needle. I'm not sure I'm going to get this through because my hand isn't quite getting to the top. Let's see. There it is. Get a pair of pliers on it. Actually, I've got a pair of pliers somewhere. Don't know if I can grab it. Let's push it a bit more. Bear with. Ah, got it. That might do it. Oh, hold on. Silly me. Just hold on. I bet somebody was shouting at me. We want to go that way, guys. We want to go through the top. We want to go through this way, otherwise the bells are on the inside. That's no good to anybody, is it? Sometimes, you know. So find a space where you can get that needle through. Again, you need a long needle because now you've got to grab it on the inside. And a pair of pliers would be good, long nose pliers. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do this. Where's my pliers? I've only got my round nosed ones. I don't think that would be good. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do this. But that's the idea. Oh, I wish I could find my pliers. I wonder if my forceps would work. Just bear with. I think that's what I did before. Where there's a will, there's a way. So I've just pulled that through. And if we can get that knot through, that would be even better. That's all right like that. There we are. So you want to hide the knot and the ends, but I'm sure you can work that out. There you go. And then you would need to fix this, and I know what I would do. I would just put a dab of glue on the end of the embroidery thread, and yeah, and then if you wanted to, you could stick a little bead on the top there. And there you go. I quite like it. I think it looks like it's, you know, going to a circus or something. But maybe just the tassels is enough. Interesting though, isn't it? Interesting what you can do. So yeah, so now you might want to give it a press to give it the shape, but you can see even with doing the stitching like we did, it's still able to bend. And then of course we can put our lights in underneath. Let's see if I can. There we go. There we are. Trying to get it so it looks nice. There we are. I'm trying to get that one light. There we are. But of course, if you've got a more of a sort of a dim room, you know, the lighting and everything, that would look splendid, won't it? Oh, well, I'm fairly pleased how that came together. How lovely is that? I'm not sure about the bells. Not on this particular project anyway. But it's an idea, and of course the bells will look super. I was wondering if I can stand it on the top of my embroidery floss box. There. So now I've got two. How many have you got? Are you going to make two? You're going to make just the one. So we've got this one here as well. So this is kind of like an autumn one, isn't it? Like an autumn one. So there we are. There you have the knowledge to complete your Electra. I hope you enjoyed that. I did. It's a lovely project. It really is. And I don't know how I come up with these ideas. I told you as we were walking around the quarry. It's a lake now, and there's these massive electric pylons that straddle the lake, one side, one the other, and obviously going in the other directions. And I immediately thought of this. I was like, what? I said to John, oh, that would make a fantastic candle holder. What? See, that's what happens when you're creative. You expect your other half to know straight away what you're talking about. Oh dear, dear. Susan says, when we do make them, we will get lots of orders. Well, that would be nice, wouldn't it? How much would you sell it for? £15, I reckon. £5 a side. I think that's fair. We know you'd never get your money back from the labour. Forget about that. Just think about the cost of the fabric and the thread, and maybe the tassels. Yeah. That wretched dog. Right, okay, well I'm off. Thank you very much. So don't forget our next project, which we shall start, probably maybe the end of August time, is going to be tea dyeing. I did already ask you to start looking out for anything cotton. So that's cotton threads, string, ribbon, fabric of course, lace, anything that's cotton that's kind of white or cream, to give you a head start with the tea dyeing. And the first one that we do will be literally making the tea. And then I'll have already made some up, so you can see the next stage. But it's important we do it well. It's important we do it well, so you get the full benefits of the tea dyeing, and then we'll make a project with it. I actually don't know at the moment what that project will be. Perhaps we'll make a giant tea bag. Right, okay. I will love you and leave you. Thank you ever so much for your company this evening. I'm now going to see what's with the dog. Perhaps take her outside for a little. She can bark at the birds, can't she, rather than at John. She just wants attention. I tell you what she does. She wants a chew, and John refuses to give her a chew until 9 o'clock. Have you ever known a dog to know the time Have you ever known that? I don't think so. So she has to wait till 9 o'clock. Honestly, it's a killer. And of course the football's on, so he's going to go loopy. Anyway, so I'll go down and rescue him. He'll be very grateful, I'm sure. Right, I shall see you all on Thursday, where we do more of Aubreyshire. So we'll finish, I will have finished the second part of the weaving, the second colour. The third colour I will do with you on Thursday night, just to make sure it goes in the old noggin here. And then we will continue it probably on a separate live, not a Thursday, because the next Thursday I think is our Cath, possibly. I don't know, I can't remember now. So I look at the diary. We've got a calendar in the group. Anyway, thank you very much. I will see you all again on Thursday. Have a lovely rest of your week. And she's on British Summertime, probably Wendy. I shall see you all